Hello, beautiful people. It's Amy Nicholas, and I am live again as promised. We are doing this thing Mondays and Fridays now, 1 p.m. Eastern time, unless I tell you differently, but that's the target we're aiming for. I've never really been a person to say I'm going live at this exact time every week, but that's what I've committed myself to do. So jump on in here. Hope you're having a great Friday. We're going to be talking about something kind of interesting, weird, different, unusual to help you with your business problems. So jump in here. Let me just try to share this out to my page. The last time I tried to share it to my page, it thought I was selling something. I'm like, it's a video. So let's see what happens today. Oh, that's not even the right post. Hang on here. Okay. Probably be helpful to share the right post. I'm looking at an old one. Okay, here we go. Sharing it out. There's me. Yay. Okay, cool. I really like that it has the captions on my videos. That's pretty awesome. So jumping into it, I don't know why it shows I have like a low signal. I hope you guys can let me know. Is the connection good? Hey, Catherine, is the connection good on your end? Because for some reason it's telling me it's fairly good. I don't know what that means, but I guess StreamYard knows better than my internet. At any rate, we're talking today about solving some business problems in an unusual way. And I don't know what's up with the clouds outside. I'm going to put the light on over here so you guys don't have to look at me in shadow. There we go. I need the light like right here, but I've got a wall in front of me. So fine connection. Okay, thanks, Catherine. So I have been studying like all this personal development stuff, law of attraction mindset for probably the last 7 years, I'm going to say. I'm going to call it 7. It could, have been less than that because in that time I was just starting to get into it. But anyway, and I have come across a lot of different, business strategies and how to improve your sales and, do this technique and you'll be sure to win. And it's my understanding that there are some techniques out there that work for some people. And why is that the case? Why is it that you could try a technique that someone says is working for them and is helping them do better in business, but it doesn't work for you? Why is that, right? You're doing the same thing that they're doing in the same manner, the same way, and it's not the same result. Well, what a lot of people will not tell you is that as you're doing something, your belief about it is influencing that, right? Like there's a lot of experiments done by scientists where their belief in what the outcome of their experiment is going to be is actually influencing the whole experiment. So when you go to try business strategies and techniques and you see Billy Bob Joe over here winning, and you do what he does and you're like, I didn't get the same result. Well, he probably wholeheartedly believed in what it was that he was doing. Whether or not the actual strategy is what made it happen for him, it doesn't matter, right? But if you believe in it, that's going to influence what you're doing. So it was a little bit challenging for me to believe initially that daydreaming was like something that I could use to solve a business problem. But it wasn't until I found a guy online, super successful, multi-millionaire guy, and he explained it in logical terms. And he said, this is the way I do it. This is how I've manifested, dream homes, dream cars, penthouses, whatever else he's spent his money on. But I said, you know what? This is what got me to believe in it. I said, I've tried all this other stuff. I've been to seminars, I've read books, I have, just invested tons and tons of money, coaching, high priced programs, online courses, all that jazz. And I was like, you know what? I am going to just listen to what he says and I'm going to apply it. And I'm just going to like take the faith that it's going to work, right? Like, I don't know how, but I'm just going to do it. Yay, Robert. I'm actually catching a live. Yeah, I haven't been live in a long time except for Monday. So good for you. I'm glad you're here. And for future reference, Mondays and Fridays lives, 1 p.m. Eastern time, talking manifestation, talking law of attraction, talking all kinds of cool tools and strategies and ideas and philosophies about improving your online business if you're an entrepreneur. So happy to have you. So anyways, I gave it a whirl. I was like, all right, let me see how this could help me. And he explained, this is my mentor I'm talking about, to use daydreaming was you could do it in a couple of different ways. You could visualize. So you maybe go on YouTube, you pick a video that's guided visualizations, and these work very well. I believe that you have to find one that kind of fits what you like listening to or who you like listening to. I've listened to some that have like an ocean background with somebody speaking. I love British voices. If I can find somebody that's British. Hey, Smooth and Chunky. And, just listen to something that just sounds good to you, right? And use that for a guided visualization. I prefer 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Longer than that, you might fall asleep or, too short, you might not get into the exercise. And of this daydreaming is to pretend for a moment or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, pretend that you are living in an alternate reality. And that reality, you have sales coming in on autopilot. You have ka-ching after ka-ching sound happening. You have freedom. You have like a sense of peace. You are just rocking and rolling it, killing it, right? This is the alternate reality. And this is different for everybody. I'm not saying that this is what you have to believe in for you. Pick the reality that you want for your business. Hey, Rita. James Earl Jones reading the Bible. So pick the reality that you want. Like, okay, let's say you're already doing okay in business, but one of the problems that comes up is you have like no free time. You're always working. You're always in it. You're like trapped in it. I'm always doing something on this business. I can't even take a break because I think about it all the time, right? So in this alternate reality that you're creating as you visualize and as you daydream is one of which somehow that problem is solved. That's out the window. Like you're on the beach, you're in the mountains, you have a vacation home, like whatever it is that would be your new reality with that extra freedom. Maybe you've got a team, maybe you've got systems in place, your ads are doing the heavy lifting for you, whatever it might be. But you have to come up with that. And you need to be very clear and specific as you practice this, okay? One of my other favorite ways of daydreaming, aside from listening to the people, guided on YouTube, is I've gotten to a point, if I'm in a fairly clear state of mind, I could be going throughout my day. I could be in line at the grocery store. I could be in my vehicle. I could be, walking or just, just random things throughout the day. I have learned to bring in the picture of what represents that alternate reality to me. And the more living you can make it seem, the better. Okay. So for example, I remember wanting to move into my dream home. I wanted property, land, space, trees. I had like no trees where I used to live on the west coast of Florida. I had all these things in mind. I wanted a pool. I wanted space, so many rooms, blah, blah, blah. But the one image, and here's the key, if you think about your business this way, the one image that represents what that alternate reality, the dream perfect world would be, that's what you need to focus on throughout your day as you can. Not like constantly or anything, I'm not saying that, but y'all know what daydreaming is, and you do it, but in this case, it's going to help you. And pick that image. For me, The main image that worked really well was I would picture the back of the property that I wanted. And this was after, visiting multiple homes, getting clear on what I wanted with my dream home. I had put together an Evernote file with a bunch of pictures, different houses and things, different backyards and properties. But by the time we found the one we thought, like, this is it, we didn't have it yet, it hadn't been solidified. But I remember picking an image of the back of the property. I could see in my mind's eye, looking out at the forest, looking out at, there was a couple big tall palm trees in the property, just seeing this like distance, uninterrupted. It just seemed like it went on and on and on. No houses behind us. And I held on to that image. And the beauty of that was I would be challenged throughout the day. Some business thing would come up. Oh man, I forgot to do this and I'm late on this. Or I have to pay this bill on the credit card. Or I have to take care of this fire, in my business. I have to figure out something technical, whatever it might be. I would bring that image in and I would daydream on it for a moment. I just think, what would it be like if I was there? What would it feel like if I was there on my dream home property and I was looking, like I was in the picture and I was looking out behind the house? How would I feel right now? And I was like, man, I just feel like peaceful, calm, serenity. It's quiet. There's not anybody, like there's no homes behind us. There's no like close neighbors. Not super close anyway. And I just saw that. And it seemed as if that image playing in my mind, because, I see the wind blowing, the trees blowing and, kind of feel the breeze. And if you make it sort of an active living image of video, it's more powerful. Okay. So bringing that into your conscious mind throughout your day is going to keep you focused on it. Now, the key is it's not just about daydreaming and thinking about an image or a video. It's about the feeling, right? Because how do we want to feel? Well, if we're going through stuff in our business and we're stressed, and we're like overwhelmed and frustrated and tired. Okay, well, what's the opposite feeling of that we might want to feel, right? Peaceful, content, relaxed, happy, like just assured that everything's good, right? So the feeling that you would most want, and you'll know this, like internally, you will know this without a question or a doubt. Like I said, for me, it was peace. But focus on that internal feeling as you think of your picture. And that's all you got to do. And you're like, how does that work? Believe me, I have no freaking clue. I am not God, but it does work. I'll tell you that. If I was to try to explain it, I would say that because you're taking your mind off of these so-called problems and you're focusing instead on what you do want, which is no problems, right? Which is peace, which is serenity, and all those things I was saying. If your mind was focused instead on that, it allows the universe to bring to you what you're asking. I talked about this on Monday a little bit, and I encourage you to go back on my feed or go back on YouTube and look at Monday's video where I talked about why your goals aren't coming to you. The problem is people are focused on their goal a lot, which in one sense would be good, but it's not when you start to think of, why don't I have it? Where is the goal? How come it's not in front of me? How come this hasn't happened yet? And you might be thinking those thoughts like subconsciously, maybe not asking those questions specifically to yourself, but that is what your subconscious is asking. And if you let that go on in the background without addressing it, and you think, why, like my goal, hello, and you're not seeing it, it's because you're thinking of the lack of it. So that is why the daydreaming exercise is very powerful. Smash the like button if you think this is good stuff and you're going to try this. In fact, comment in the chat box if you're going to try this. And that is why it's so powerful, because it takes your mind off of that goal for a moment. Even though the goal is what you are supposed to focus on, the problem is most people are thinking about not having the goal, which is actually going to create the same reality over and over of not having the goal. The subconscious mind does not understand the difference between do and don't, or have and have not. So if you're focusing on having not the goal, it's just gonna give you like exactly that, having not the goal, right? It doesn't know that you want the goal unless you are focused on, I already have it. That's pretty much why that's not working. But, let me know, what do you guys think about this? Are you going to try this technique of daydreaming to solve problems in your business? Now, is this the only technique? No. It's just one that I believe personally has worked really well for me. When I used this technique and I said, I thought of my dream home, by the way, I got it. It helped me to find new creative ways to make more money in my online businesses. Okay. That was almost the side benefit of it, because what I needed at the time, was resources, the ability to buy a bigger home, the purchasing power and things like that. And it was just like things were falling into place. So it's something that can work for, like, maybe, you want more sales in your business. Great. Maybe you want more freedom in your business. Great. Maybe you want less working in your business. Maybe you want to just be able to like stop what you're doing for a minute, take a break, take some time off. This can work for that. Okay. Robert says, does this take the place of my normal daydreaming? It depends, Robert. What is your normal daydreaming consisting of? If you're already thinking in terms of something positive that is making you feel good, you're on the right track. You could be thinking of something completely unrelated for this to work, actually. So in one sense, you could be focused on, okay, I'm going to daydream about, I log into my, like, let's say KDP account, and I look at the sales, and I'm like daydreaming this, and I'm seeing this like huge spike. Like all of a sudden, I was down here for a while, maybe some days 0. And then all of a sudden there's this big spike. Like, what the heck? And then it just kept going up and up and up for like several days, right? You could be picturing something like that and like imagine how you would feel. And that could affect your sales, okay? Or you could be thinking about something completely unrelated. Like, let's say you want to, like I live in Florida. Let's say I want to go to California. I want to take a trip. I want to drive. I want to take my dogs. We have a van, so whatever. Just book it across, the country. I could be focused on that and make more money. Why is that? Because I'm not focused on something I don't have. I'm focused on something that I want. Right? I hope that makes sense. And a Smooth and Chucky. I had planned to try and have done, but not with intention. Yeah, intention is everything, with the caveat that you don't want to like force it or try too hard. This is a playful exercise. This is like, something you should do until you feel like, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm kind of falling out of the daydreaming and, I'm like back in the real world or whatever. So at any point where you feel like you're not connected to it, that's fine. Just release it. Don't like force yourself like, oh my gosh, I have to sit down and close my eyes and have to think really hard. But yeah, just make sure you know what you want. I mean, that's probably the biggest problem most people have, is they are just not clear on what they want. You could say, well, I wish things were easier. Well, what does that mean? I wish that I had more sales. Well, what does that mean? Like, how many more sales? How much profit? What does your business look like? How many businesses do you have? Like, be specific. Most people aren't willing to do the so-called work to get clear with themselves, to get honest with themselves and say, you know what, this is what I freaking want, and if you stumble over it where you're like, I don't know what I want exactly, just start writing it out a little bit, like, well, I think I want this and this and this. And it's okay if it changes, and as you pick your image that gives you that internal feeling that you're going after. Personally, I've found that having a sense of peace is the best feeling to have because it eliminates overexcitedness, anxiety, or worry of any kind because you're not near that. You know what I mean? You're over here in the peaceful state, and all that emotion is like way over here. I think that's the closest thing to get you towards what you want. And like I said, that was the image I focused on to bring my dream home to me. And prior to actually seeing the property, I was still picturing similar types of, property, like what it would look like. And once I had visited here, then it helped solidify. So if there's something that you can do to solidify that image, get as close as you can to it. If you got to go to the dealership and be like, I got to sit in this car because one day I'm going to buy this freaking car, then that's what you got to do. Because you need to like internalize that feeling of like, what does it feel like to sit in my dream car? What does it feel like to walk through my dream home? That is going to put you so much closer to it happening fast for you. So the Chucky says, I quit my job of 22 years this week. Woohoo! To create a clear path for what's next. I'm at peace with my decision. Yeah. No, that's awesome. And good job for you because there's so many people that will never make that jump. They will talk about it. They will wish it. They will hope for it. But you made exactly what you said. You made a decision that you were going to do it. And you did it willingly. A lot of people were sort of forced into entrepreneurship in the last year. And that's probably not a decision a lot of them would have made initially. But you took the initiative. And that is what it takes to make something happen for yourself. You could watch this video and you could be like, oh, great. Amy's talking about daydreaming. Yeah, just sit around and daydream. Like we're going to get all we want, just sitting around. Well, no, it's not like that. And I just think that if there's certain times of the day, especially when you feel stressed out, something came up unexpectedly, something threw you off track, and you're just like, I'm just trying to refocus myself, right? I'm just trying to get back on my game. And you just use this daydreaming exercise, it's going to just make you feel better. And when you feel better, you do better. Okay. Sometimes it's enough to see that image in front of you and just feel that sense of peace or whatever it is you're going for. And other times it's best to shut the computer down, walk away from the work, go for a walk outside or go lay down somewhere and just do the guided visualization that I talked about on YouTube, because that one will help you stay focused as they speak, the guided stuff to you. And in some cases, you need that. You're past the point of like, oh, I can just visualize my image and I'm good. Maybe you need a little more help in that area. So, but use this technique. Just, I gave you 2 methods of using it. If you missed the beginning, watch the beginning and let me know, report back to me how this works out for you. Like I said, the very simple solution is to just pick the image going after. Let's say, like, I'll give you another example here, and this is strictly related to a business problem. This has happened several times. I remember a specific instance though, where my Facebook ads account was shut down. And this has happened to probably everybody who ever had a Facebook ad account. Some people freak out and they're like, oh my gosh, I can never run ads again, right? I know how this works. And I chose to, despite all these, new things going on and what have you, I chose to keep an image in my mind of Facebook sending me a message back saying, congratulations, your account is reinstated, right? I didn't put blame on anybody. I didn't say, "Oh, stupid Facebook, you again," or any of that. I didn't walk around talking about it. All I did was I pictured the image of them sending me a message, and I would tell myself, "It is done," and I let it go. And if it creeped back in my mind later, and I started to think about it, I started to worry. Maybe I'm thinking, I could really be running ads right now. I could use this. Picturing the image of them messaging me, "Amy, your account has been reinstated." Done. Okay, great. Let it go. And within, I think it took about 4 days, they messaged me, and that's exactly what happened. So I could have spent time worrying, doubting, I'm going to have to open another account, or how am I going to do this? No, I'm telling you, I know how this works. In some cases, it's easier than others to believe in something, but I just kept my calm and I pictured my image, bada bing, bada boom, everything worked out. I did not have to do anything outside of sending an initial message to Facebook requesting a review and saying, "Look, I don't know why this happened. Can you look at my account and fix it?" That was it. Let it go, So anybody willing to share maybe, just some issue, maybe in your business, maybe even outside your business that you would like to see resolved. And I will do like an on the spot, here's how I would handle it strategy for you, okay, for this daydreaming technique. If anybody's willing to share. And if you don't, that's cool too. I understand. We like to keep our problems close. In some cases it's good, not talking about it, but in other cases it's not. And as I wait for someone to share, because I'm sure someone will, I'll try to think of another one that's happened recently. Well, I started to run some ads on merch. And I've been running ads for a long time, but I started to specifically run some ads for 4th of July stuff. And I put up a bunch of ads and nothing was happening. They weren't even getting clicks. Barely impressions. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. All right, I'll up my bids, Next day, same story, nothing happening. Okay, I'll up them again, Same story. So for several days, this went on. And I was like, well, what do I want to happen here? Well, I don't want to overbid. And then all of a sudden, all these ads start spinning crazy. I was like thinking, okay, I'm going to get to this number in my mind and I'm going to see some sales start coming. And so I put up the bids again. It's probably like the 5th time. And I let it go. And I had some sort of fake picture in my head. I wasn't like super intentional this time, but I had a faint picture in my head of what it would be looking like to log into my merch account and see something start selling. Well, sure enough, it was like the next day. And I think I had sold 1 or 2 at least that day. And then the following day, again, I sold something else. And it was, again, it was just as if I had pictured it. It was like, I didn't overspend, the ads weren't going crazy. Finally, they just started reaching people and they were clicking and buying. So I was like, all right, cool. Small example, but this is how you can use this for your own business, your own problems that you're challenged with. Don't feel that there's any problem too big or too small that you can't use daydreaming for. Like, I think that some people would say, oh, I have this huge problem, I have to worry about. No, you can minimize it. Because why is it even a big problem? Because you said it was. And you can say, well, Amy, you don't understand my situation. True. But thinking something is big or small is just a perception. Because let's say that, you had this big problem where you owed some money to the IRS and you were like, well, this sucks. I owe like $5,000. Well, that could be a very small problem to a business owner who owed $100,000, right? So it's all in perception, So don't ever think like my problem's too big. I don't know how I could use this. It doesn't matter. It's just the thinking that makes it so, big or small, right? So nobody wants to share. Nobody wants to give me something to work with here, help you with your business problems. This is live coaching here, people. Let me help you. That's cool if you don't want to. But I hope that you will take the technique of daydreaming and you will at least give it a try. Okay. Now, another thing I should say too is just because you thought about your picture, your video in your mind, and you felt the feeling one time, that's not enough. Okay. You need to be repeating this throughout your day and for several days and maybe several weeks sometimes, just depending on how, things are going to manifest for you. We don't know. Like, I didn't know when I was buying this home that, it was going to take such and such and such to happen. And then, this would happen and then that would happen. I didn't know all the steps and I didn't know how long until moving day. Right. But when I looked back at the time of looking at the home and then actually moving in, it was like 6.5 weeks or something like that, which really isn't that long of a time. But when you don't know, you're like, okay, when's it going to happen? Right. So don't worry about the time. That's the other thing. And like I said, don't worry about whether a problem feels too big or too small to try this on. Just try it. I mean, what do you got to lose, right? You spend a few moments thinking about an image, feeling of, how would you feel? And then going about your day. And again, I'll reiterate that, like how I use the picture for my home, looking at the property and stuff. Yes, we got the dream home. That was the goal. However, there was the bonus effect of increasing sales, increasing business. Once I moved into this house, because in my mind, I was going to up level. I was going to not only up level my home, I was going to up level my business and where I was at as an entrepreneur, because I told myself that indeed it did happen. And my next year of like full year of living here, I doubled what I earned in that year. What I'm saying here is that you can use that technique of daydreaming and it could have multiple benefits throughout your life. I think at the very least, at the very minimum, you're going to feel better than you did 5 minutes before or 2 minutes before, or whatever it was. So anyways, guys, I hope this video was valuable for you. Let me know if you like this kind of content. This stuff that I talk about is the meat of what has worked for me. Yes, I do certain things online, business-wise, certain like strategies or what have you. But that to me is like the 3%. The 97% of activities and things to study and focus on is just sort of out there and weird. But to me, all the study time I put in, this is what works. Okay. The other stuff you've probably tried, you're like, I've tried going to, events, I've tried seminars, I've tried programs, I'm trying to increase sales, doing this and this and this and this. But if you do not tackle the internal stuff, none of that stuff's going to work. Or it's going to work very minimally for you, right? So work on this, okay? I will be your manifestation queen. I will teach you what I know as best as I can to help you have a better life, better business. And also, I have a free guide, link in this video. This is my 5 secrets to create your stress-free ultimate business lifestyle, okay? Things I put together to help you break the chains of bondage that we feel as entrepreneurs. I really feel the struggle for people because I know what it's like to feel like nothing's happening, nothing's working. I'm not moving forward. Like that frustration. I know where you're at. Okay. So check that out. Rita says, thanks for sharing, Amy. So much value. Sometimes feeling what I daydream is more difficult. Yeah, good point, Rita. It is more difficult. And it's because we're so programmed and conditioned to feel by default, to feel negative. This comes from parents who are negative, or just They're just focused on, reality. This comes from teachers. This comes from society. I mean, you turn on the news for 5 seconds and what is it? It's all negative, right? There's never a positive story in there. So feeling positive emotions is a very challenging thing. Without knowing it, we all daydream throughout the day, constantly, mostly on default to negative. Okay, that is going on in the background, whether you know it or not. So this exercise that I've been sharing is a conscious effort to override the subconscious negative daydreaming. With this, even though it's a small amount of time that you're focused on it, it is enough to make stuff happen for you. Okay, good stuff, not bad stuff anymore, good stuff. So yeah, thank you for commenting, Rita. It's just a condition we've all got to work on. That's all. Hey, Mom. Checked earlier, did not see you. Sorry, I missed it. Like the videos. Thank you. So, guys, get your free cheat sheet down there if you want to have a stress-free dream business lifestyle. I'm in that modality, and I'm always seeking improvement. Okay, so as I learn things, I'll share with y'all. If y'all need any help doing KDP, check out the kits below, link down there. And remember, I'm going live now Mondays and Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So I will see you next Monday, the 14th, 1 p.m. YouTube and Facebook for now. Once I get a new phone, I can do Instagram again. My camera is jacked up on my phone and I can't record on it. So yeah, that's why. But anyways, guys, take care. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.